come on, make a move. Everybody, say it, make a move.
What's wrong with this picture? No, actually, let me rephrase that. What's right with this picture? It encapsulates much of what is wrong with our society today. It takes helicopter parenting to a whole new level. Maybe we would call straitjacket parenting, which disturbingly you can also get supplies for on Amazon in a whole wide variety. Anyway, let me say up front, it's very important for children to feel safe. They need to know they are loved, that their parents are there for them. They need to be comforted when they get hurt. And obviously there can be cases when children who are not developing normally may need special care. But in most cases, children are leashed because of the mental insecurities of adults, not because of any danger to the child. Let me put this bluntly. Children need to experience pain, both emotional and physical, if they are to develop into well-adjusted, successful adults. And yes, you heard that right. There's a condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, or for the acronym police, CIP. People with this condition literally feel no pain, which sounds like a blessing, but is actually a terrible curse. People with this condition, especially boys, frequently die very young. This happens because they are deprived of the ability to distinguish what is biologically right from what is biologically wrong. The reason that it is important for children to feel emotionally safe when they're young is to build psychological resilience, which can keep them from falling apart when inevitably there are times when they feel emotionally unsafe as adults. The idea that adults should always feel emotionally safe is not only logically contradictory and practically impossible, but deeply damaging to us as a species. How can we possibly have a free exchange of ideas when the priority is to keep from offending anyone? Without a free exchange of ideas, how can we determine what is good for our species and what is bad? And without the ability to separate the good from the bad, how are we to survive in the long term? One of my favorite authors, Nassim Taleb of Black Swan fame, I've mentioned him several times. He also has a book called Antifragile. Not nearly as popular because it tells us a bunch of things that we really don't want to hear. Primarily it tells us that we should strive to develop societies where humans become stronger as a result of physical and emotional challenges, not weaker. One where such challenges are accepted and appreciated as a necessary component of human health and success, not avoided at all costs. He uses the example of the now well-established fact that in trying to protect our children from allergies by isolating them from certain foods early in their lives, we have frequently caused allergies to become worse. We have deprived our children's physiologies of the ability to develop natural tolerances for certain foods. It's also well established that tactile experiences, touching, playing with things, chewing on them, like little kids will want to do, is crucial to their healthy development. How much tactile experience is a kid going to get when he's on the end of a leash? My grandmother used to say, "You have to eat a bushel of dirt before you die." This was generally taken to mean, quite literally, that you need to get your hands dirty in order to be a happy, successful adult. Now, this was back in the time when it was much more necessary to make a living by working with your hands than it is today. Nevertheless, the sentiment is still just as true. I think if my grandmother was still alive for the leash generation, she probably would have said something like the following: people who are leashed as children will end up being leashed as adults. She was a very smart woman, my grandmother. Very tough lady and a natural born Catholic. Well, you know, nobody's perfect. Kidding, Grandma. Love you. Rest in peace.
Now you won't say nothing about it. You won't say nothing to me. You won't say nothing to